Hi there, my name is Diane, but you can just call me D.
Nothing to fear.
Today's video is gonna be my TBR for the spooky October month. However, I was not really planning on making a TBR just because I already know most of the books I will be reading, but I have watched Mel Reed's September TBR recently and I got really inspired by it because she basically goes through all the books that she might want to read and she decides on camera, so it's pretty fun. She does the whole planning thing. So I got inspired to try and do something similar and plan with you the sort of books I potentially might read for the month. There's gonna be some books that I will definitely get to. I went a little bit berserk at the library and got a lot of books, but we'll see. I've got a few that I'm hoping to finish by the end of September, so they won't hopefully carry over October, but I don't know if I'll be able to stick to that. The first book I will definitely read is Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia, and this is the pick for the Enchanted Book Club, which is a new book club that just emerged, and The Wild Sasha is a part of it, and I really enjoy her videos and things like that. This book club is really fun because the concept is that each month they have a different theme, so it just sounds very refreshing, and you don't have to participate in all the months if the theme doesn't interest you, but it sounds cool. So this is the first book that I'm gonna start with, although it wasn't really going to be on my TBR ever. I just want to participate and I'll, start to read it, and if I enjoy it, I'll continue with it. What is this about? I think it was published last year. It got a lot of buzz. Okay, so this is a classic gothic suspense novel, a story about an isolated mansion in the 1950s, Mexico, and the brave socialite drawn to its treacherous secrets. The main character has received a letter from her cousin who just got married. I think in the letter, the cousin asks her to come. There's something wrong or something like that. So the main character goes to the Mexican countryside in order to see what's up. The whole family of the husband is in the house also, and I guess they all are quite strange. It says that this house has stories of violence and madness. Basically, she's gonna try to save her cousin. There's something about this house that is very wrong. It's definitely a horror, so I think there might be some gore in it. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know how I feel about that stuff. I rather enjoy a suspenseful type of horror, something that has a lot of tension and things like that, rather than horror, I guess. I will try it. So this is definitely on my TBR. Next, for the books that I have to read, I have an Unkindness of Ghosts. This is the monthly pick for the Howling Pack Book Club, hosted by The Wild Sasha. I had it from my library, but I gave it back because the loan was due, and plus I didn't really felt like reading it, and that's gonna be really superficial of me, but it had this kind of cover, which is, I guess, library binding type of cover, which is like this white thing, and it's very like square everywhere, and I don't really like it. It's not nice to handle a book like that, which is kind of annoying because I really like hardcovers, but just that kind of hardcover I do not like, and it's not something that if you were to buy a book you would get. So I don't know. I don't actually remember what An Unkindness of Ghosts is about, so I think it's a sci-fi or something like that. So I'm just gonna go on Goodreads and look into it. Alright, so that's by Rivers Solomon. It has a 4 average star rating, so that's really good. Let's see what this is about. It is queer, dystopia, speculative fiction. There's some sci-fi fantasy. It says, odd-mannered, obsessive, and withdrawn, Aster has little to offer folks in the way of rebuttal when they call her ogre and freak. Oh, rude. She's used to the names. She only wishes there was more truth to them. If she were truly a monster, as they accuse, she'd be powerful enough to tear down the walls around her until nothing remained of her world save for stories told around the cookfire. So she lives in the low-deck slums of a spaceship, I think, and that spaceship has ferried the last of humanity to a mythical promised land. On its way, the ship's leaders have imposed harsh moral restrictions and deep indignities on dark-skinned sharecroppers like Aster, who they consider to be less than humans. There is a murder of a sovereign on the vessel, and his autopsy reveals that there's a link between his death and her mother's suicide. Basically, Aster has to investigate. Obviously, it does sound really interesting. I just don't know if it's the mood that I want for October. So let me see if I can find it on audiobook or something like that. Okay, so I couldn't find it on audiobook, so this is gonna be on my maybe pile. The next book is Into the Drowning Deep by Mira Grant. I'm super excited about this book. I have been wanting to read it for ages. I've heard so many great things about this. This is supposed to be some sort of a horror fantasy, something like that. I believe there's some killer sirens. I think I had asked Sasha if she wanted to buddy read it with me because she had it on her books that she wanted to read, and so I don't know if the buddy read is still happening, but hopefully it is. But if not, I'm still gonna read this book because I'm really excited about it. I've heard so many good things. I've actually heard only great things about it. It's about a group who had traveled to the Mariana Trench to film a mockumentary about the sea creatures and the legends and things like that, but the ship was lost at sea, and now there's a new crew that is getting ready to go there once again. But I guess this time it's not for entertaining. This is serious and the real deal to uncover what happened. I'm super interested. And I'm also really excited to read from this author again because she's published so many books. Her writing has been beloved on a booktube, but the plots of a lot of her books have not interested me, so I hadn't been able to pick up books from her, so I'm really excited to read that. So those are all the books that I have some kind of commitment to it with other people. I have some books for myself that I might not reveal just because I wanted to do like some secret vlogs and stuff like that. So what else do I have on my physical TBR? I have The Nature of Witches by Rachel Griffin, and this is about climate change and witches controlling climate and having a really hard time controlling it with everything that's happening. So I'm super intrigued about this book. This is for sure a book I'm gonna read. I'm really excited to see what this is about and where this goes. People have been saying that the writing is actually really easy to get through, so I'm excited. And also it looks beautiful. I've got 3 on my TBR for sure, 1 on my maybe, I think. I guess the last physical one that I have would be The Guest List by Lucy Foley. This is just really funny, but basically I got it because when I was browsing at my library, I saw that they had a lot of copies of this book, and I was like, if I get it, they're not gonna ask me to bring it back anytime soon. So I got this book. I know that my boyfriend also wants to read this book. I don't know if it's gonna be on my for sure pile. It should be on my pile that I will get to. This is to the like of the Agatha Christie And Then There Were None, where there's a wedding. I think it's a wedding. Yeah, there's a wedding happening on a remote island, and someone gets murdered and everyone has secrets. So that sounds really interesting, a really quick thriller to get through. Yes. All right. So then on my maybe, I'm gonna go on my Libby app. I basically have a few audiobooks and books here and there. So I've had this They Never Learn by Lainey Fargo, which is due in 14 days. So if I can get to it, I will. It's only a 10 hours audiobook. I've heard a lot of good things. I've heard that it's really fun to read, I think. It's about a feminist serial killer or something like that. And it has some dark academia to it, I think, also. So that would be really perfect for the spooky season, right? So potentially this one. Then I had started Highland Treasure by Lindsay Sands. If I remember correctly, this is a historical romance about... I don't remember what this is about. What I had started was pretty good. It's about our main character, Lady Elisande, I'm not sure, who has just escaped from the English soldiers. She's basically being escorted by Scottish men to the Highlands, and the leader of this group is apparently a healer, so that's pretty cool. Anyway, we'll see if I get to it. This is definitely gonna be on my maybe, probably not pile. It is due in 8 days, but no one is waiting for it, so I might renew it. And the last one I've got on my loans shelf is The Tower of the Swallows by Andrzej Sapolsky. This is just for my boyfriend. I have read this one. I did not like it. I should read the next book, but I probably will do that in November. So what's in my hold shelves? So I've got the Mexican Gothic audiobook that's gonna come soon, hopefully. I've got The City of Brass. I'm probably not gonna get it by October, so that's fine. No, we don't care about this one, and this one, I'm not gonna get it. So I guess that's about it. Let's see on Scribd if I have anything. I wanted to get to this one, The Razorblade Tears by A.C. Cosby, because I have watched vlogs about people reading this book, and the story just sounds so intriguing and profound, and people have loved it. So I think this is about two dads who go and try to figure out what happened to their sons. Their sons were a couple, they got brutally killed, and so the two fathers team up to figure out what happened. I think there's a lot of talk about prejudices in this book because the dads were not 100% in with their sons being gay, and I'm guessing there might also be some talk about racism because one of the dad is black and the other is white. This has been intriguing every time I've heard people talk about it. So this is on my maybe pile. Hopefully I get to it. It's 12 hours on audiobook, so I don't know. I hope I get to it. I've already got quite a few physical books to get to. I don't know if I'm gonna finish my September TBR, so that would have to go over into October also. I don't know. There's a lot of plans, a lot of books I want to read. There's also others that I wish I could add to this TBR. I wish I could add The House of Leaves. This is such a weird book that has a lot of mixed media in it, but I don't know. I think I would need a whole month to get through this book without reading anything else. And then there was Night Film that also really wanted to get to. It's also a mixed media book. I had started it, but I just had a really hard time getting through it. I think I had only read 50 pages. The story was okay, but I really enjoyed the mixed media part, so maybe I'll try. I don't know. those are all on my very low hope to get to pile. Let me know if you got any spooky reads for the season that you really want to get to. Let me know if you read any of the books I've mentioned or if you're going to read them. We could maybe potentially buddy read some because that's always helpful. So if you liked this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you want to see potential vlogs about those books, make sure to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.